Welcome to Single Ever After. Join me as I journey through the jungle of dating in search of my true love. Okay, so I have been going out on dates. That area has picked up quite a bit, and they're they're not like anything super serious. Like some I've gone on multiple dates with, and some I have plans to go on multiple dates with. So we've gone on one, we have plans to go on another. That's going okay. But in the meantime, between time, I did like start talking to somebody for a little bit. And um, I don't know, like, I just feel like, I feel like if we both took a breath and listened to one another, we could have something really good and we'd be able to communicate a lot better than we have been. But it does not seem like we are able to communicate in the most productive ways. I think we are both very like strong in our opinions and the things that we believe in. And instead of agreeing to listen to each other, we constantly are just trying to defend ourselves. And I've come to the realization that I'm just not like I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to do that anymore. And I feel like I've tried to express that to them and they say they understand, but we end up back in the same place. So I am at the point where I'm just like gonna pull the plug on that little thing. It's not even a situationship or anything like that. Like we've just been trying to communicate and trying to talk to each other. I've expressed the things that I've needed in order for this to work out for me, which is just like quality time. I'm not saying I have to see you all the time, but when I do see you, I would like it to be like some quality time, like I have your undivided attention, because that is what I would give you. And yeah, just like being able to communicate better, I don't need to know your every move or anything like that, but I don't know, check on me. That'd be nice. If you're like, hey, how was your day? Or how's it going? Or if I've talked to you about something, you know, showing interest and following up with the thing I talked about. Listening to me when I am trying to talk to you. I feel like that's important because I make sure that I listen and I make it a point. Active listening is, not a skill that everybody possesses. And I make it a point to make sure that when I am listening, I'm listening to understand, not listening to respond. I feel like a lot of people just listen to respond. They're already thinking about how they're going to reply to you. And sometimes you're not asking for a reply. You just want to vent or get something off your chest. And then maybe you do want their perspective, but like you have to finish your thought and finish what you need to say before you welcome their response. So I feel like I've expressed all of those things and I don't know, I'm being told they're heard and they're understood, but it doesn't feel like they are. So I'm at the point where I am just about to pull the plug on that because I've been down this path before where I've given grace, I've been patient and understanding of, what the other person has going on in their life. And I've been in like a holding pattern, waiting for the change that they just keep telling me is coming. And it's like, why though? Like, why am I always the one to compromise? Why am I always the one that has to wait? Like, I just don't think that's fair. So yeah, I'm at the point where, it could have been great, I think, if we got on the same page, but we're just not getting there. So I'm pulling the plug on that. Then there was this other guy. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. We briefly talked in the beginning of the year. Yeah, I think I did. And then we kind of fell out. Like he not fell out, but like it just kind of fizzled. And then we started talking again. I don't know. I feel like people tend to say like, "Oh, I'm not looking for something too serious," and then once you start interacting more often, they get into this like I don't know, maybe they just get comfortable, but they get into like this line of questioning that feels as though they want something a little more serious when you haven't even clarified like where the thing is headed. So like with this guy, I feel like sometimes he'd like text me, you know, like passive aggressive messages, you know, and it's like, oh, I don't respond necessarily right away. Number one, I am busy. Like I do work, and I have a lot going on. And a lot of times when I'm getting texts, I'm like headed to a meeting or coming out of a meeting, going into another meeting. Like I have stuff to do throughout the day. I'm not just sitting around waiting for somebody to text my phone. So I am working, and especially throughout the day, you know, I may or may not read the message. I may read it and say, oh, I got to respond to this person, but I'm in the middle of something, so I'll respond after. And I forget. I feel like that happens to a lot of people. Or I've just had a really busy day and I actually haven't even seen the message. So like he would text me and then, you know, kind of follow up on his text with like, okay, thanks for the reply or something like that, you know, and just like, one of those, you know. And I'm just kind of like, well, I'm sorry. Number one, I'm busy. But also like, I don't owe you any explanation. Like who, and not to be rude, but like, we're not even friends. Like, I don't have to reply to you. Like, if I don't respond, I don't respond. Like, it is what it is, you know? I'm not gonna get mad at you for not responding to me because we don't have that kind of like established connection that I'm expecting you when I text you to respond to me, you know? So I just kind of was like he, I guess, texted me a couple days and I didn't get back to him, partly because I forgot and then also because I was busy. And he was like, oh, the least you could have done was answered, you know, replied or whatever. And the thing is, what he was asking me about, okay? This man was asking me how a date that I went on went. Like, aren't you interested in me? Why do you care how the date I was on went? Like, I'm definitely not going to answer you. Like, what? This is weird. We're not friends in that arena where I'd be giving you, yeah, so here's a debrief from my date that I went on. Like, no. So, and like, that's a surefire way, in my opinion, to show a woman that you want to be friends. Like, you ask me about other dates. I don't know. Like, okay, so we're just friends then. Okay, cool. But we're not friends. Like, friendship is built on a lot of other things besides questioning what my dates were like and how they go. So anyway, yeah, I hadn't responded, and then he just kind of came with this like passive aggressive, like, well, the least you could have done was let me know how it went or something like that. And I was just like, why? I don't owe you any explanation, you know? And then also I'm like totally turned off by him. Like, it's been a while that I haven't been interested in him. And I was just like, I was like, this little thing has run its course, you know? Like, we're good. We don't need to keep talking. Like, whatever this was, which it wasn't anything, it's run its course. Like, I am over it. So, yeah, I just kind of was like, I don't care to entertain a conversation with a back and forth and all that. Like, I just don't. So just kind of wrap that up right there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. If I'm interested in a guy, I'm pursuing a guy, I am not going to ask him questions about how his other dates were. Like, unless I'm just trying to be your friend, you know, where, you know, I'm just about to be like one of your homegirls, you know what I'm saying? And okay, then yeah, I'd be like, oh, how was it? And oh yeah, you know, and, you know, share a laugh or whatever about things that happened on your date. But like, if somebody that's like interested, like I'm interested in them beyond friendship, no. And it's not like, you know, again, it's not like he's probably thinking the same thing. Like, well, I'm only interested in friendship. Like, no, he's already expressed that he is, you know, attracted to me and all those other things. So it's just kind of like weird that he just kept asking about it. Like, I feel like if I didn't respond the first time about it, just move on, you know? And it's not like I was avoiding it. Again, I was truly busy. And then I did see it and I totally forgot to respond. But that he just kept asking about it. Then I was just kind of like, why do you care? Why do you want to know? Like, we're not friends like that. Also, if you're interested in me romantically, why are you asking about other dates and stuff? Like, I don't know. It just left a icky feeling that I was already kind of like turned off by him, and this just kind of like sealed it. So yeah. Beyond that, you know, dates are dating. You know, matching with people, going out with people. I did go on a date with a sous chef. I tend to always attract guys that like to cook, which is great, because I'm not a fan of cooking. But I did match with a sous chef, and you know, that was pleasant. He was nice, and we agreed to go on a second date. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, it's just, you know, generally just slow going. You know, I'm not forcing anything. I'm just kind of like dating around and seeing what happens. So stay tuned. And I'm still not sure what I'm searching for, obviously, since the last time. I don't know where I'm going with this, or I'm just like dating around and whatever happens, happens. I kind of think that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, remember to just always keep your hearts open for love.